It's the 24th annual WIBC Queens Tournament from Beverly Lanes in Niagara Falls, New York. Hello, everyone. I'm Dwayne Dow. This is the big one. This is the Queens Tournament, the top women's bowling event in the world. And we're here at Beverly Lanes in one of the great vacation spots in the entire world, Niagara Falls, New York. The Queens has the defending champion in the field in the televised finals, Aleta Sill, going for 2 in a row. We'll see if she can make it. My partner is Virginia Norton, and she can tell you from experience that this is just not your ordinary bowling tournament.
Well, it certainly isn't. There were 480 ladies that started the week. They bowled 8 games of qualifying, cut to the top 63 plus the defending queen, at which point they started bowling a match play style. 4 games in each match. If you lost twice, you were eliminated from the tournament. So it's been a long week for all of these ladies, and it's a great tribute that they're here this afternoon.
Well, it sounds to me like this is really a survival of the fittest.
Well, it certainly is, and it's really interesting that Aleta Sill happens to be with us today, because in the last 5 years, we've had back-to-back winners in 1979 and 1980 with Donna Adamek. In 1980 and 81, 81 and 82 was Katsuko Sugimoto from Japan. Aleta was there last year, so let's see if she can do it again.
We'll be right back to take a look at our finalists after these messages. The best women bowlers in the world competed to start the run at that $25,000 first prize check. Then they cut to the top 64. Now we're down to 5. Virginia, let's go over that field.
Well, to start out with, you've got to remember we've got the defending champion here. We also have a couple of ladies that aren't accustomed to television and the added interest of a lady from Japan. So we've got that plus the hometown interest, which is in our first match. In 5th position, Phyllis Notaro from Brant, New York, a WIBC Hall of Famer who has had a lot of support this week from the hometown crowd. She has bowled in all but one of the 24 Queens tournaments that have been held, and whatever happens here will be her highest finish. Her opponent in the opening match is Elaine Blamenberg from Cranston, Rhode Island, who is making her first television appearance. She has really been on a hot streak lately, shooting 2 300 games and an 8-12 3-game series within the last 4 weeks. This is only her second Queens, and she would love to make it her first major title. The 3rd place qualifier is Cheryl Daniels from Detroit, Michigan. She narrowly missed the TV finals in our last stop and has bowled very consistently all week. She is one of the few bowlers to use a 6-step approach, but since switching to that last fall, she has been a constant threat. In 2nd position, following the trend set by her fellow Japanese bowlers, is Kazue Inahashe from Tokyo, Japan. She is the leading money winner on the Japanese Pro Tour and rolled the highest series of the tournament, a 960 for 4 games. And our tournament leader and the defending champion is Aleta Sill from Cocoa, Florida. Last year, she won the Queens as Aleta Respecki, has since married and added 2 more pro titles to her credit. She was the leading money winner in 1983, and a victory today would put her at the top of this year's list.
We'll return with the first match of the 1984 Avon WIBC Queens Tournament when Phyllis Notaro meets Elaine Blamenberg right after this. Our first match in the stepladder finals of the 1984 Women's International Bowling Congress Queens Tournament. This is the big one, $25,000 top prize. And it'll be Phyllis Notaro versus Elaine Blamenberg.
And Phyllis definitely has to be the crowd favorite because they've been out here all week cheering her on. Brooklyn, but it carries.
Phyllis Notaro from the area, living within a half an hour's ride or so of Beverly Lanes here in Niagara Falls, and now she faces perky Elaine Blamenberg, Elaine's first television appearance ever. So she has solidly been in the top 15 in Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour events in Florida.
And Elaine goes Brooklyn, leaving only the 5-9. Now, both ladies going Brooklyn early. I think a lot of that has to do with how much they happen to be a little bit nervous, and these first few shots, like Elaine was talking before, and she plans on trying to just get settled down. This is her first television appearance.
And so Blamenberg trying to pick up the spare here on the 5-9.
Oh.
And she does pick it up. And so we're even at the end of one frame. Blamenberg and Notaro, the first match in these finals for the prestigious Queen's Championship. And we have the defending champion, Aleta Sill, as tournament leader, trying for 2 in a row.
That's right, but the excitement that has been here all week, there is quite a few people here from Japan cheering on Inahashi, who is in second position. Aleta has her grandparents. Everybody's got their favorites out here.
And a strike for Blamenberg, who doesn't look nervous.
Well, Blamenberg is obviously a little bit nervous, but she's got a good luck charm, and at some point maybe we'll get a chance to see it. She was able to meet a lady from Australia, and she gave her a good luck charm, and it's working.
And Phyllis Notaro from the Buffalo and Niagara Falls area with a nice stroke, leaving the 2-4-5. She is a member of the Women's International Bowling Congress Hall of Fame. She has won many titles in the Buffalo area, and she won a very big tournament back in 1961.
Yes, that was the BPAA All-Star Tournament, which is now, the name has been changed. The format a little bit has been changed. It's now the U.S. Open. So very prestigious tournament, and certainly this lady has been around and knows how to bowl.
And she knows how to bowl with the spare in the second. And so we have an even match at the end of 2, Notaro against Blamenberg. Interesting matchup. You've got the veteran performer here in Phyllis against Elaine, the youngster.
Well, that's very true, but it's been a while for Phyllis since she's been on television, so I think she's feeling a lot of those same nerves that Elaine is. Good
point. Notaro, many of her friends watching here in Niagara Falls. What a nice roll. Oh, but the 4th pin wouldn't go.
Yes, and maybe the one thing that you see in watching Phyllis Notaro is you see a definite difference in the bowlers that learned how to bowl, let's say, 30 years ago over the younger bowlers today. She has a very simple game. She doesn't try and hook the ball a lot. You see a lot of the younger bowlers trying to create that extra power with the hook.
Would you call her a stroker?
Yes, you definitely would.
Pretty style. Boy, what a nice release.
Very simple, doesn't get her into any problems at all.
And a gracious woman. This is Elaine Blamenberg's first TV appearance. We asked her if she has any superstitions or good luck charms.
A lady from Australia gave me a koala bear, and I've been carrying him around all week, and he's been bringing good luck to me, so he's here with me today.
Elaine Blamenberg, a woman with a great sense of humor, rolling the ball confidently and leaving the 10-pin. And we have right now Blamenberg ahead by just 1 in the 3rd frame.
That's right. That was a little bit light, not much, but the 6-pin just couldn't take the 10, and that's what's supposed to knock it out on that strike shot.
Now, Aleta Sill, if she wins, or any of these women, they would virtually triple or quadruple their yearly earnings just by winning this championship of the Queens.
That's right. Whoever wins this Queens tournament will go into the early lead as far as, and that's a bad mistake. They'll go into the early money lead. A bad mistake by Elaine Blamenberg. I think that's a little bit of loss of concentration, and she'll definitely have to get that back early in this match. Otherwise, the nerves are just going to take over.
Elaine calms those nerves and strikes in the 4th, but Notaro's steady game spares the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Then she opens in the 7th frame. Blamenberg spares the 5th, doubles, then opens in the 8th as we return to a close first match. Notaro in the 8th. Needing a strike. She hasn't had one since the opening frame.
And pulls it and trips the 6-pin. And that's exactly the strike she threw in that first frame. So she is by no means out of this match. She definitely needs a strike here to get within 6. She pulled this shot, again, hopping a little at the foul line to pull it, but she gets the great break as they all fall, the 6-pin trips. Notaro going for a double. She's high, but she struck. And that is the kind of clutch shooting I saw her do during the regular match play portion of this tournament. She might have gotten down and into a little bit of trouble, but when she needed the strike, she was able to throw them as well as that last one.
She needs that luck now as we see the 9th frame Blamenberg with a 6-pin lead. And oh, fortunately for Elaine, that 7-pin topple.
She was extremely lucky. That would have given the lead right back to Notaro with that double if she had split and opened in the 9th frame. However, don't forget that she missed a 10-pin on this frame, on this lane. She also left the 3-6-10 and narrowly converted.
The type of great women's sports action you'd expect to see in a major championship. And Elaine Blamenberg sparing in the 9th. So Blamenberg, despite the fact she has 2 open frames to Notaro's 1, still Blamenberg is ahead by 6 frames on the strength of the only double in this match. We are going into the 10th. I'm sorry, Notaro also has a double, and she's working on maybe 3. 6 pins is the lead for Blamenberg as she now tries to expand on that lead here in the 10th and strikes in the 10th.
And what a great shot. She really needed that one.
Blamenberg can strike out for a 194. She's on a strike in the 10th, trying for a double here in the middle of the 10th frame. She's high, and she left the 3-pin.
Again, she pulled up at the line, and when she does that, she has a problem pulling the ball across her body.
Now, with that shot by Blamenberg, it means that Notaro, to win the match, just needs a spare or a strike.
But she also needs good count.
And so, a 184 for Elaine Blamenberg. Will it be enough to win? We'll see.
So this is a big shot for Phyllis Notaro. Phyllis needs at least 7 pins on this shot in order to stay in the position she's in. Then she'll need a spare and a strike if she only gets 7.
On a double, looking for 3.
Whoa.
And she's outside the pocket. She got the 7 pins.
Yes, but at this point, we could have a tie match. Right now, she's got 145 in the 8th. A spare strike combination would then give her 185 and the match, but she must convert this and strike to win this match.
This is not an easy spare by any means. Multiple pin spare.
She made the spare. So now a big clutch shot for Phyllis Notaro.
If she knocks down 9 pins, it'll be a tie.
And you can maybe hear the crowd buzzing. They know exactly what has to happen, and we will have a tie if she gets 9 pins, which means we'll go into a 9th and 10th frame roll-off. But this is the ball right now. She needs 9.
Didn't get it. And Blamenberg wins by a pin.
That's right.
And so, Blamenberg beats Notaro, 184 to 183. And we'll go on to meet Cheryl Daniels in match 2 right after this. After Elaine Blamenberg's victory by 1 pin over Phyllis Notaro, this capacity crowd at Beverly Lanes in Niagara Falls, New York, watches Cheryl Daniels on the right in the blue, taking on Elaine Blamenberg. And this is an interesting matchup in more ways than one.
Well, it certainly is. These 2 ladies are roommates out on tour, so as much as they are very good friends, they are both very fierce competitors, and neither one is going to let up in this match.
Rhode Island against Detroit, and the Rhode Island entry comes in the person of Elaine Blamenberg with an opening strike.
And that certainly looked more like the Elaine that we saw during the week. A little bit of confidence, certainly a renewed breath of life after winning by 1 pin in that first match.
And so, Cheryl Daniels is up after Blamenberg's strike. And Daniels, with that beautiful release and that nice roll on the ball, goes Brooklyn but knocks them down.
And maybe not the most beautiful strike in the world, but she certainly is going to take it, and that's going to make this match all even after the first frame. Cheryl really feels comfortable on this pair. She's had 2 big 800 sets for the 4-game matches. And she's got
Cheryl's mom and dad watching.
Right.
Her father is a long-time instructor of physical education in Detroit public schools.
And you can see how disciplined a bowler Cheryl Daniels is.
Went wide there, left the 1-2-4. Each player on a strike after the first frame, and Daniels with 3 pins to convert here to stay clean in the second frame. Cheryl has yet to win a professional tournament, but she has done everything but win.
That's right. And she's made some very interesting changes in her game. She takes a 6-step approach. She used to hook the ball a lot more than she does now. She decided she had to go to a little less hook, a little more accuracy, and it's certainly been working well for her.
Cheryl Daniels with 20 in the first frame and a spare in the second. As we look at the woman from the tiniest state in the Union, Elaine Blamenberg, she's really cleaned up the state of New Hampshire, Rhode Island. I'm in the right region anyway. She has several Rhode Island state championships. She's high. Oh, that could have been worse.
And she just hasn't quite made the proper adjustment on this right-hand lane. She's been high. She's been Brooklyn. I think she's getting a little bit careful, and when you get careful out on these lanes, it costs you. If you could keep your stroke nice and free and loose, you could carry. But if you got careful, the pins reacted to it.
Needs the spare to keep it even, and does, so we're 20-20 at the end of 1 frame, and with each player showing a spare in the second frame.
Both bowlers strike the 3rd frame. Blamenberg goes on to string 3 spares together. Then she strikes again in the 7th. Cheryl Daniels opens in the 4th. Then it's strike, spare, strike, and we return to Cheryl in the 8th.
Cheryl Daniels needs a strike, has not struck on this left-hand lane yet. Elaine Blamenberg, on the other hand, likes the left-hand lane.
And Daniels trying for the double here on lane 45, and here she splits the 4, 7, 10 for Daniels. So that is her second split of the match, as she pulled a big 4 earlier.
She threw this a little bit slow. She tried to get careful, and because of the little less speed, the ball hooked too much, hooked through the nose, and left the 4, 7, 10.
Well, you can pick this one up with the right shot, right?
You sure can, and she sure needs it right now.
She does. She does need it, but didn't pick it up there, and so she's open. And now Blamenberg's lead is out to 22 pins. Elaine Blamenberg of Cranston, Rhode Island, who felt blessed after beating Phyllis Notaro by 1 pin in our opening match of the Queen's Finals.
And she just made the best shot she has either one of these matches on that right-hand lane to now go into the lead by 32 pins going into the 9th frame of this second match. This one, she goes all the way through. She has a little bit of extra breathing room, so she just lets the arm swing. And look at her reaction to the shot.
Blamenberg shot 187. Cheryl Daniels shot 172. We'll return to the action of the 24th WIBC Queens Tournament after these messages from your local stations. This is the TBS Television Network. in the person of Elaine Blamenberg in the black against Japan in the person of Kazue Inahashi. I've been practicing that pronunciation for 24 hours.
Yes, and what a delightful lady. She has been here before. She's bowled in 3 of the Queens tournaments. This is the first time she's made it to the top 64, but she has certainly plunged her way through the field since then.
She has to stop this woman who's going up the stepladder, Elaine Blamenberg, leaving the baby split on her first shot of the 3rd match in the finals.
And this may have been a shot because of the break, a little bit of break in concentration. She goes too high, leaves the 9-10, which is a baby split. She needs to go between them to convert.
The Women's International Bowling Congress Championship Tournament being contested on these lanes over a period of 66 days. And they're an open frame for Blamenberg.
The pressure builds in major tournaments. Maybe that's why Inahashi returned the open in her first frame and Blamenberg opened again in the second. Then both ladies settle down with 2 strikes and 3 spares in the next 5 frames. We return to action in the 7th frame.
So, Kazue Inahashi trying to do what Katsuko Sugimoto did 2 years in a row, win the Queens. Inahashi trying to make it Japan triumphant 3 years out of 4. With the lead in the 7th frame, striking.
And a very strong ball. Rips the 5-pin. She retains a 19-pin lead after 7 frames. She has moved in a little bit on this lane, and in is hooking a little bit more on this lane. So she rips the 5. Great shot.
We asked Kazue Inahashi how she felt about bowling in the United States, away from her home country and her home fans.
I feel very much responsible and a little bit uptight because I'm representing Japan.
High shot, but a strike, and a double for the Japanese woman, Inahashi, giving her a lead of 29. And the winner, Kazue Inahashi. She defeated Elaine Blamenberg 223 to 177. We'll be back with a championship match after these messages. And so this big crowd in Niagara Falls, New York watches the championship match for the $25,000 first prize in the storied Queens Bowling Tournament, the showpiece of the yearly Women's International Bowling Congress show, wherever the great tournament is held in the United States.
That's right. Next year we will be in Toledo, Ohio.
Holy Toledo. You'll be there. You always do so well in this tournament.
Not
what happened this year?
Not always.
Aleta Sill, the defending champion, leaving the 3-5-6. So we have Aleta Sill of Detroit against Kazue Inahashi of Tokyo.
Aleta going a little light, leaving the 3-5-6, which is not necessarily an easy spare to try and convert.
Now, Aleta, really, we say she's from Detroit. She, in the past year, has moved to Florida with her new husband, Dave Sill. They've been married for a year. In fact, they got married just about a month after Aleta won the Queens, that $25,000 top prize a year ago, and she shows a lot of ball speed here in the first frame.
That's right. She straightened the ball out. She didn't want it to hook and overreact, so she straightened it out and went with a little bit more ball speed, covered the spare perfectly.
Now, when this woman from Tokyo shot a 960, she had games in this tournament, the non-televised portion of the Queens. She had 266, 268, 233, and 193. She beat Pat Balcom 960 to 740 on one of her match victories, and starts the championship match with a strike. 1 frame down, we're even. The winner, $25,000. Second place, $14,000.
Yes, but more importantly, the winner also has the WIBC Queens victory and the crown. And that's probably every bit as important or more so than that money.
And literally the crown. We're going to see that crown put on the head of the winner.
That is correct. Inahashi
trying to dethrone Aleta Sill, the defending champion, That beautiful roll. And her run of strikes comes to an end.
And what a good break. She goes through the nose, doesn't leave a split. Has only the 6-pin to convert.
She had 4 strikes to wind up the previous game, and then actually went open on her last shot that didn't mean anything. And here she started with a strike and now leaves the 6-pin. Have you been in Japan on tours at all?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times, and they are always very, very gracious hosts.
People like bowling?
Yes, bowling is probably as big in Japan as it is in the United States.
Well, the women have done a great job coming over here and winning the U.S. Open a couple of times. Shinobu Saito and then Katsuki Sugimoto winning the Queens 2 years in a row before this woman won it last year, Aleta Sill. And she beat Dana Miller for the championship.
Well, at the same time as we watch Aleta prepare for her second frame here, there have been several of the girls go over to Japan, one of them being the alternate here today, Vesma Grinfelds, and she won a title over in Japan. So it's been a turnaround situation.
This is a woman who badly wants this victory. I don't think I've ever seen her so fired up.
We've seen her fired up before, but she really wants this one, and she knows it carried.
That new hairdo from Aleta Sill, looking very, very attractive in this championship match. And strong as she fires that ball, looking for another one, but leaves the 4-pin.
The first ball she threw on that lane went a little bit light. She used a little extra ball speed. That one, she tried to slow down a little. I think her key is going to not be a speed adjustment. It's going to be an adjustment on the lane or on the approach.
When she won the Queens last year, she was the second youngest Queens champion in history. Only Millie Martorella of nearby Rochester, New York, was younger by 4 months when Martorella won her first of 3 Queens titles in 1967. That information courtesy of the Woman Bowler magazine. Everything that comes out in this sport, I've got at home in drawers. A lot of great publications. Dispense a lot of wonderful information on this great, great sport. Now the woman from Tokyo, Inahashi. Oh, what a nice shot. What a championship match so far. Dead even. 40-40 at the end of 2 frames. Each player on a mark.
And she is really lined up on this right-hand lane. Strokes the ball goes through her target. Perfect.
Women's International Bowling Congress has run this championship tournament magnificently. John Falzone, commissioner of the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, handling all of the television arrangements so that the entire nation can watch the Queens in 1984.
The Queens and the entire Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour schedule.
3, 6, 9, 10. You got one in the dark back there, my friend.
Well, she's been in a little bit of problem on this left-hand lane since her count ball in the 10th frame, and here she goes around the ball with her entire body. Her whole body pulls the ball to the left, and this is not an easy spare to convert.
These Japanese players are great for precision, for fluid style, concentration. Let's see if she can pick up the 3, 6, 9, 10. She did not. She left that back pin, the 9.
And that gives Aleta a great break, because now Aleta goes into the lead while she's on the bench.
Nice way to take the lead when you're seated.
Well, it certainly is, and that usually just fires Aleta up. It would not surprise me if she throws one of the best shots of the match right here.
On a spare, trying for a strike in the 4th frame. And leaving the split, the 5-10 for Aleta.
She got a little bit quick as we get a chance to look at Stephen and Adelaide Zook, her grandparents.
They brought her up.
They certainly did, and they were there when she won last year in Las Vegas, Nevada. She thinks hook, 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 but that ball doesn't carry. It leaves the 510.
And now back to the action, and she didn't get anything there. So, all of a sudden, from a lead of 12 pins, Aleta has fallen behind by 2 to Kazue.
Well, this also can show a lot of the pressure. Both of these are seasoned professionals that have been bowling on television quite a bit. But the problem is, you're bowling for the WIBC Queen's title, you're bowling for $25,000.
Every shot, every move, every step, so important.
And what a great shot that was after a bad break in the 4th frame.
Certainly hope you're enjoying this competition. Our producers out of New York for TBS, John Calabrese, George Smith, Lee Eden and Bert Liebert, executives for the TBS network in conjunction with John Falzone of Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, making these telecasts possible every week across America.
A little bit off balance, but there again is that great arm swing that she has. Keeps the ball on line, and she carries a strike, so she has answered the strike that Aleta Sill threw in the 5th frame. She's not sure of it, but it carried.
And now Aleta Sill seated, trailing by 2, and we have 5 frames to go. After all of the games of qualifying and all of the grueling blocks of match play.
Yes,
Players up and down and back up again. 5 frames to go to decide who's going to win this big one.
and that was also a great shot. So she has just extended her lead to 12 pins. And as you get to watch her here, the arm swing is nice, fluid, and the pins respond.
Aleta Sill trying to win the Queens a second time. Only 4 other players have won the Queens as many times as 2, with 1 player, Martorella, winning it 3 times. And a strike for Sill to stay. 2 pins off the lead.
And here we get to see Aleta's last ball. Nice, easy 4-step approach all the way through it. But watch this reaction. She wanted that one. This strike could put Aleta Sill in the lead for the first time in this match and add extra pressure to Kazue Inahashi.
She first bowled in the Queens at the age of 16 and made $90. Actually won a match at the age of 16 at strike. And listen to this crowd in Niagara Falls.
This crowd is now totally behind Aleta Sill. They've watched her bowl all week. And I think it's now a matter of maybe watching somebody from the United States bowling somebody from Japan. Look at this reaction. Yes, she wants this title. She wants it badly.
Inahashi trying to match the turkey of Aleta Sill.
And she does.
Strike for strike. They go at it with 3 frames to go.
The last ball she threw, she knew it was close. She liked it. And there is probably as much emotion as you're going to see that mild-mannered lady display.
And this is one of the more exciting finishes you're going to see for a major championship in bowling, men's or women's, anywhere. This woman leads by 2 pins as she goes for 4 in a row in the 8th frame. And she strikes again to continually apply the pressure.
And there you saw a little bit of a jump as the ball hits the pins. Take a look at this. She knows how well she has thrown this ball, and as the ball hits the pins, her reaction is excitement.
And now Aleta Sill trying to match the four-bagger of Inahashi, trying to stay within 2 pins, within striking distance.
And this is what you really have to consider. Seasoned professionals bowling under extreme pressure.
The buzz in the crowd at Niagara Falls.
Well, this is what they've been out here all week. We've had great crowds all week out here watching the Queens, and this is the kind of competition that they have seen.
9th frame. Sill looking to take the lead. She is working on 4 strikes in a row.
And what a great break that was. She throws the ball a little bit wide, but there is the power of that hook that we were talking about earlier.
Now, which player is going to crack first? What's going to happen?
Just watch this shot of Aleta's. This ball a little bit wide, but what great pin action to give her a 5-bagger. And the pressure on this lady has to be enormous right now.
Inahashi on 4 strikes in a row, trying to retain her lead here in the 9th frame.
Oh, she had a bad release, but it certainly worked well.
She slides back beyond the approach as if to escape.
Well, she knows that wasn't the best ball she's thrown in either of these 2 matches, but it certainly kept her on top of the match, and she now has the option of choosing her own fate. If she strikes out, she locks Aleta Sill out of the match.
I don't think anybody's lost this one, but
No.
somebody's going to win it.
That's right. And both ladies have gone out and performed like the true champions that they are.
10th frame. Can you believe it?
Carries that one. That forces Aleta to get the first one, probably the first 2. Much better shot than the last one. She's able to extend all the way through it. She knows this one's online. Great arm extension.
So Inahashi on 6 strikes in a row, and now her 2nd ball of the 10th frame, leading by 12 pins. Championship match.
She's close.
Like radar.
And able to carry a shot that she did not extend as well through. She came up out of that one, but nevertheless she carried, and she's in the 240s.
You saw the look of frustration on the face of Aleta Sill.
That's right, but she's not out of the match. This lady needs 9 pins to win her first WIBC Queens title.
If she knocks down 8 on this last shot, we could have a tie. We could have a roll-off for the Queens Championship. Final ball of regulation.
And that's enough. This is the shot she needed. 9 pins on, and that one is right on line. The 5 rips into the 7, and she shoots 248. And look at the tears of Kazuo Inahashi.
So
Here's the reaction of Inahashi. She knows now she has won the tournament.
So Aleta Sill in the championship match bowls a 222.
And takes home $14,000, but the big story, Kazuo Inahashi, 248, $25,000, and the WIBC Queens title.
We'll be back to talk to the champion, Kazuo Inahashi, the winner of the 1984 Avon WIBC Queens Tournament, after these messages. With 8 strikes in a row to end the match, Kazuo Inahashi from Tokyo is the 1984 Queens champion. and an appreciative crowd in Niagara Falls, New York, really thrilled to one of the great wind-ups to a major bowling championship in recent years. We have an interpreter with us, and Kazue, congratulations.
おめでとうございます。
Thank you very much.
Well, that's pretty good English. 8 strikes in a row. I asked her what she thought about those 8 strikes in a row. She was so fantastic.
8つも出してどう思いましたかって。
もう何が何だか全然分かんなかった。ただもう今何フレ自分が投げてるのかも分かんなかったです。
She was just unconscious, she said.
Now the president of the Women's International Bowling Congress, Helen Baker.
Congratulations, Katsue, and let me crown you queen.
Ah, there it is, the traditional crowning of the queen. The tiara goes onto the head of this wonderful champion.
In addition, we would like you to have this watch, and please notice the brand on it, and this beautiful silver tray in memory of your win in this beautiful tournament. Congratulations.
Watch made by a Japanese firm. Thank you, Helen. And now from Avon Products, we bring in Mary Gibbons.
Kazue, on behalf of the Avon representatives in the United States and Japan and all over the world, I'd like to present you this check for $25,000.
Thank you very much.
And how much is that in Japanese money?
I need a Japanese calculator.
Whatever it is, I'm sure she'll enjoy it.
It's a lot of money.
Kazue Inahashi, the champion. And Virginia and I will return to talk more about this great wind-up to the Queen's Tournament after these messages. Kazue Inahashi, 248 to 222 in the championship match over Aleta Sill for the Queen's Championship. And Aleta Sill, we should talk about her, Virginia, because she really did very, very well in the championship match, even though she lost.
Well, she certainly did. She bowled like the true professional that she is, the true champion she is. Obviously very disappointed at what happened, but Kazue just bowled extremely well also. Aleta, when she got up in the 10th frame, couldn't have won. She may be a little disappointed, threw the ball a little bit wide. It could have been a one-pin match if it had come down to Aleta finishing the match first.
Well, if you're going to go out as defending champion and not win it again, that is the way to go out. On your feet, driving the ball into the pocket, and making the new champion earn it.
That's right, and I'm sure that Aleta will be back next year. She's an extremely tough bowler. Like you've said before, one of the finest bowlers in the country.
Hey, you and I are going to be back next week on Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, best women bowling in the United States.
We certainly are, so I hope everybody out there will join us, and we'll be bringing you all kinds of action from all around our great country.
And that's it for now. See you next time. Dwayne Dow with Virginia Norton on Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. So long, everybody.